welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Baddies West, Season 3, Episode 9. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Listen, so much went down in this episode and there's so much to discuss, so let's just get right into this review. So at the very beginning of this episode, everybody was in the living room arguing over how to divide up this $20K that the ladies made for the 2 hostings that they did in Las Vegas. Now, I feel like $20K is not enough for 11 girls to split, but at the same time, I feel like it should be split up equally, only because they were all there to do a hosting and everybody showed up to the hosting. So I don't feel like girls should be making more than others just because they performed, because like Lo pointed out when she was having this back and forth with Tommy, is that the poster says that they're there to host, not there to perform. So everybody who was there performed on their own accord, not because the club booked them to do that. And so I agree with that. I feel like they should split it up equally. It's not like the girls didn't make different amounts to do the show anyway. The girls have their own separate contracts and they all made a certain amount of money to come onto the show. And I feel like Tommy was being really aggressive for no reason. Like, she jumped up out of her seat, she kicked her shoes off, and she aggressively walked towards where Lo and Kat were sitting because she was pissed off that they felt like everybody should get paid equally. And I just don't understand why she thinks that people really know her music like that. We know you from Love and Hip Hop. I don't really know her for anything else. I don't know one lyric to any of her songs. At first, I didn't even know she made music until I saw her perform on this show. The only person whose song is really known is Chrisean. So if you wanted to say that somebody deserved a certain amount of money, you would say Chrisean, because most of the crowd probably showed up for her anyway. But at the end of the day, I just feel like Tommy was the one being really dramatic about it. And so was Rolly. They were both being really dramatic about this $20K being divided up to where they get more money than everybody else. And Biggie sat there and co-signed it because she wants to be cool with Rolly and Tommy, so she's going to jump with whatever they say. So she was in agreement that whoever performed should get more money. Natalie ended up deciding to give the girls who performed $2,500 and the girls who didn't perform $1,200, which I don't think is really fair. And I don't believe that Natalie thought it was fair either. I just think she didn't want to deal with the drama that was going to come with dividing the money equally, because Tommy and Rolly were really hyped up about that whole situation. And so in order to keep the peace, that's probably the reason why she did it. Because on social media yesterday, I saw this clip of a video that Natalie did with Lo, where Natalie was in complete agreement with what Lo was saying about the money being divided up equally, and that they weren't paid to be there to perform, they were paid to be there to host. And so I just feel like Natalie didn't want the drama, and that's the reason why she decided to pay the performers more. After the money was divided up, the ladies ended up heading to their next club hosting, which was in Phoenix, Arizona. And listen, Phoenix was hyped. Like, the crowd was hyped the entire time. They were having a really good time. It was lit. But Tommy ended up slapping a fan in the face while Rolly was performing, because the girl, I guess, was doing a bit too much. Maybe she was a little bit too excited to be around them, so she was dancing on them. And I guess Tommy said that the girl was grabbing her feet. I didn't see the girl grabbing her feet or legs, but if that's what Tommy said that happened, then it might have happened. But she did not have to slap that girl in the face like that. I feel like she could have handled that a completely different way. She could have either moved, or she could have asked the girl to move. She could have even gave the girl a warning. But to just slap her in the face like that and she's a fan, I think that's disrespectful. I don't think she should have done that, and I feel like there should have been more repercussions for Tommy's actions, because if that was Stunner Girl, everybody would have been pissed. What annoyed me is that the only person who told Tommy that she was wrong for slapping that fan at the club hosting was Chrisean. I feel like Biggie should have said something to Tommy about that, since she's the one who claims that there's a time and a place to fight, and she claimed that Stunner Girl was so unprofessional for fighting Tommy at the photo shoot. Why was she excited that Tommy slapped this fan in the face then at a club booking that they were paid to be at? Because that just doesn't make any sense to me. That makes me feel like she just wanted to have beef with Stunner Girl the entire time, because in that case, you should keep that same energy with every one of the girls who does something unprofessional. So the next day, Chrisean and Stunner Girl ended up having a one-on-one conversation, and basically Chrisean is on Stunner Girl's side because she feels like every situation that Stunner Girl has been in, somebody came at her first. And I actually agree with Chrisean on that, because if you paid attention to every beef that Stunner Girl has been in so far this season, those ladies came at her first, and then once she reacted, then all of a sudden Stunner Girl became the problem. That was the situation with Tommy. That was the situation with Biggie. And the reason why I'm saying it was the situation with Biggie, because at the end of the day, Biggie sat there and called out Stunner Girl for fighting at a photo shoot because she felt like it was unprofessional. At that time, I did think that Biggie was right, that it was not the time or the place. But this is what makes me feel like Biggie was just trying to have an issue with Stunner Girl because she wanted to be cool with Tommy. Because now that Tommy put hands on a fan at a booking that they were at where they were getting paid to be at, she sat there and encouraged Tommy to do that, and she cheered her on as she slapped that fan at a booking. So for me, I feel like she just wanted to have problems with Stunner Girl, and that her saying that it wasn't the time or the place wasn't actually genuine. I feel like she just wanted to have issues with Stunner Girl. Then the situation with Stunner Girl and Rolly. Rolly ended up popping off because she took a comment personally that wasn't even directed at her. And then Razor was yelling in Stunner Girl's face, and that's the reason why they fought. So, in my opinion, I agree with Chrisean. I think that Stunner Girl only reacts to what people do to her. And don't get me wrong, I'm not at all saying that Stunner Girl is innocent, because she's not. She needs to learn how to control herself, and she needs to learn to use her words and not always her fist. So I'm not saying that she's innocent at all. But I feel like people who like Biggie or people who really like Tommy, they feel like they can't call them out when they're wrong. Just because you like somebody or you're a fan of somebody does not mean you can't say when a person is wrong. You should be able to tell somebody that they're wrong whether you like them or not. So even if I like somebody, that doesn't mean that if they're wrong in a situation, I'm not going to say that they were wrong. And I feel like a lot of people don't get that. Just because you're a fan of somebody doesn't mean you agree with every little thing they do. So while the ladies are on the Baddies bus on the way to dinner, Kat decides that it's a good idea to call Tommy out for slapping that fan at the club hosting that they did. She felt like it was really unsafe for Tommy to do something like that because wherever they go, it's being broadcasted while they're traveling as the Baddies, okay? So whatever club hosting that they're going to, there's a flyer for it, and it shows exactly where they're going to be at and what time they're going to be there. You don't know what people are going to do. They might jump you, they might bring a weapon. You don't know. You're putting everybody in danger by being reckless at a club. And Tommy wasn't really seeming to get that. And she started raising her voice at Kat. Now, Kat got with her, and I feel like it was good that Kat did that because Tommy seems to feel like everybody's scared of her and that once she starts raising her voice, people are going to back down. But Kat did not back down, and she definitely made her point. But I do think that it was good that her and Tommy were able to squash it. Now, when they arrive to the restaurant, Stunner Girl is already there and she's eating her food because she arrived before everybody else because she was unable to ride on the Baddies bus. They did not want any fights on the way to dinner, and so that's the reason why she was not with them. Now, Chrisean decides that she's going to call out Biggie once they get to the restaurant because she's tired of everybody arguing with Stunner Girl, and she feels like out of everybody, Biggie really doesn't have beef with Stunner Girl. She's just creating issues with her, and she feels like Biggie won't drop the issues. Chrisean said that she would be doing the same thing that Stunner Girl is doing if people were coming at her as aggressively as she feels they come at Stunner Girl, and Biggie immediately hops up and says, "Fuck Stunner Girl." So now Stunner Girl decides to call Biggie out for being fake because she said that when the cameras were not rolling, Biggie actually apologized to her and was acting cool with her for 3 whole days. And then once the cameras came on and the two of them were supposed to have a conversation in front of the cameras, Biggie started acting some type of way and acting like she didn't want to talk to Stunner Girl at all and like she really didn't like her. And so she said that she was taken aback by that because she thought that they had dropped all the beef because of Biggie apologizing. Now, Biggie tried to deny apologizing, but Kat actually jumped in and she did say that Biggie was acting cool with Stunner Girl for 3 days. And I believe Stunner Girl when she says this because she's not the only one who said that Biggie was acting nice towards her for 3 whole days up until they were supposed to have that conversation on camera. And this is where things really make sense to me because Kat said that when she tried to get Stunner Girl and Biggie to have a conversation on camera, that was only because the two of them were getting along off camera for 3 days. And that's the reason why she did that, because she wanted them to make up with the cameras rolling. And she was surprised also at the way that Biggie was acting once Stunner Girl walked up to her. She thought that the energy was off because they were cool for 3 whole days, so she didn't understand why Biggie was acting like that, and that's the reason why she went into the house. Now, Biggie tried to say that she wasn't the one who started talking down to Stunner Girl first during that conversation, but then Zeus being messy, they ended up pulling up the clip of Biggie actually starting the drama off because of the way that she was talking to Stunner Girl during that conversation. Biggie also said that they were face to face when she hit Stunner Girl in the face. That's not true. Stunner Girl was actually looking at the producer because the producer came out and fixed her mic. But I didn't really think much of that because at the end of the day, if you're arguing with somebody and you know that they don't like you and they're standing right next to you, why would you take your eyes off of them knowing that they're probably going to hit you? So I really didn't think that was a big deal, but Biggie absolutely lied about that because they did end up showing the clip. And so Biggie's looking really bad right now in this episode. I know some people like her based off of her audition and because she seems to be happy about everything. She seems to be excited about everything, and that's refreshing to see. But if you're being a dick rider and you're just trying to hop on somebody's bandwagon, because that's what she's trying to do, she's trying to hop on Tommy and Rolly's bandwagon, then people are going to start to notice that about you and they're going to look at you sideways. Now, Chrisean is really starting to get frustrated with Biggie because she feels like Biggie is trying to keep up drama. And she also feels like she's kind of similar to Stunner Girl in the sense that she will pop off at the drop of a dime too. So there's a certain way that you have to handle her, or there's a certain way that you have to speak to her. And Chrisean feels like all the ladies respect that about her and they come to her a certain type of way. And she doesn't understand why they can't extend the same grace and respect to Stunner Girl when they're talking to her that they give to Chrisean. And I respect Chrisean for saying that because she knows she's a firecracker and she knows she can pop off at the drop of a dime. So she sees somebody who's just like her in a sense, and she feels like if they could give her respect, then why can't they do the same thing to Stunner Girl? And so basically Chrisean said that she wanted Biggie to get sent home because she feels like Biggie is trying to keep up drama and not trying to resolve any issues. So basically, in so many words, Chrisean is trying to say that her and Stunner Girl are the same, so you have to address them the same way. And she feels like the ladies will do it for her, but they won't do it for Stunner Girl. That's basically what she's trying to say. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Baddies West. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all, and until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.